Saudi Arabia has recently revealed plans for the world's largest and most ridiculous megaproject. Mohammed bin Salman, the Crown Prince, wants to construct two 500-meter-tall parallel towers spanning 170 kilometers of rugged and arid territory. The proposal is dubbed the Mirror Line, and its realization would be equivalent to constructing 2001 World Trade Centers side by side twice. Since just 12 buildings in the world have reached 500 meters in height, it would be absurd to construct 4,000 of them simultaneously in the same location. Why then did Saudi Arabia make such a ridiculous announcement? Can they really get it off? Or are they just seeking global prominence? Few nations in the world can boast as ambitious a reform strategy as Saudi Arabia. In 2016, the monarchy launched Vision 2030, an economic diversification strategy that would lessen the country's reliance on oil and refocus the economy toward tourism, technology, and other areas. Since then, they have released a master plan known as NEOM, which stands for New Future. NEOM will be a future smart metropolis comprised of 3 enormous megaprojects. The first phase of the plan consists of a floating 8-sided industrial complex named the Oxygen, which would serve as a port for Red Sea shipping routes. In addition, the city will feature a significant outdoor skiing destination named Trojana on the Arabian Peninsula, where year-round entertainment and activities will take place. None of these proposals, however, are as grandiose as the Mirror Line, which was revealed in January 2021. Recently, further information on this metaphorical line has been released, and to call it wild would be an understatement. What is the Mirror Line then? It consists of 2 500-meter-tall structures that will span 170 kilometers of arid landscape simultaneously. To accommodate a metropolis of 9 million people, these parallel towers will have mirrored exteriors and 200 meters of space between them. The linear metropolis will begin on the shore of the Gulf of Aqaba in the Red Sea and extend into the nation, traversing mountainous and arid terrain. Connecting the 2 mirrored faces will be walkways. The majority of the interiors will be constructed vertically, with public spaces, offices, and residences stacked on top of one another. In essence, their idea is to vertically stack the infrastructure of a typical metropolis. In addition, their concept will be 100% sustainable and contain cutting-edge technology. The inhabitants will be nourished by vertical farming incorporated into the 500-meter-tall walls. In addition, the project is intended to incorporate a yacht marina and a sports stadium raised 305 meters above the earth. But is it feasible to construct? Or will it be eventually? The Crown Prince of Saudi Arabia has referred to the Mirror Line as a revolution in civilization. Yet the Mirror Line sounds more like a gigantic fantasy world that will be brought to reality. Saudi Arabia plans to construct portions of it by 2030 and relocate in over 1 million residents. Despite the fact that mankind has constructed enormous buildings in some of the most challenging environments, the Mirror Line promises too much in too little time. Saudi Arabia's recent track record in the construction of remarkable buildings is also poor. As an example, the Jeddah Tower, which was intended to be the highest skyscraper in the world, is on hold and has only reached around 1/3 of its initial height. On the other hand, Saudi Arabia is home to the world's 4th tallest tower. The Mirror Line is unlike anything else ever constructed. However, it is akin to Illinois' Big Ideas from almost 6 decades ago. This structure was intended to be 1 mile tall, which was absurd at the time. Similar to Illinois, the Mirror Line may only exist on paper, or in this instance, 3D drawings and promotional movies. This time, though, the whole globe is watching, and over 50 million individuals have already seen one of their trailers. Why then would Saudi Arabia suggest something so unusual, since it is quite unlikely that the promises can be kept? Since Mohammed bin Salman seized control of the country's affairs, Saudi Arabia has been rebranding itself. As part of this rebranding initiative, projects like the Mirror Line are certain to get worldwide notice. Saudi Arabia aspires to be seen as a nation that has much more to offer, and they seek to diversify their economy towards tourism. Nevertheless, the majority of tourists to the kingdom now come for religious purposes. With attention-grabbing initiatives such as the Mirror Line, Saudi Arabia seeks to alter its worldwide reputation. The project is especially significant to Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman, who has likened it to some of the largest megaprojects in the Middle East and refers to the Mirror Line as "my pyramids." NEOM is intended to become Saudi Arabia's own architectural monument, and unveiling a fantastic project in the midst of its construction will generate excitement. Moreover, the website describes NEOM as a vision of what a new future may look like. Consequently, it might also be seen as a study project for alternative city architectures and contemporary transportation ideas. Saudi Arabia has effectively attracted worldwide attention with the unveiling of the Mirror Line. However, the majority of replies have been negative. Many questions are left unsolved. They want to construct a metropolis with a 100% sustainable transportation system and zero emissions. Yet, there is no mention of the enormous carbon footprint that would be left by such construction. Oldfield of the University of New South Wales estimates that the construction of the line will generate close to 2 billion metric tons of CO2, which is more than 4 years' worth of CO2 emissions in the United Kingdom. Considering these enormous building emissions, the idea of establishing a carbon-neutral metropolis doesn't seem very believable. In addition, opponents have been quick to bring out Saudi Arabia's record on human rights and are estimating the human cost of Saudi Arabia's intentions. Several indigenous groups have inhabited the region's cities and villages for hundreds of years. The planners had planned to attract international investors, but the country continues to be primarily ostracized by Western nations, and economic ties are greeted with hostility. Even if they get the necessary funding, some of the designs for NEOM and the Mirror Line are just too hard to implement. The majority of observers anticipate that the final designs will change significantly from those displayed on media platforms. Based on what we have seen so far, Saudi Arabia lacks the necessary skills to implement the majority of its recent promises. Even with international assistance, the Mirror Line project is too large to be completed over the next several decades. Regarding the Mirror Line, it is also essential to consider if people would truly want to live there. Currently, we see the Mirror Line as an idea for alternative lifestyles. In reality, however, the project is vastly overscaled and faces several obstacles, including the aforementioned violations of human rights and its viability. A more practical method would be to incorporate some of these future concepts into Saudi Arabia's existing cities, which is now unfeasible. However, what are your thoughts on the Mirror Line? Could it be constructed, or would it remain a science fiction fantasy? Let us know in the comments down below. Thank you for watching, and we will see you in the next video.